Comrades, welcome back to City Skylines Mass Transit. It's again been a long time since the last episode, but Gibraltar endures and it's time to continue the adventure. I did as I said I would in the last episode, and I have managed to find a mod. There's a few of them actually, but I think this one will do quite well for us. That will enable us to avoid using these power lines where we choose to not use them. So let's just see if this thing would work. There we go, it's perfect. It doesn't have a huge area of influence, which I wouldn't want anyway, but it's just nice to give us some power down the side of the eastern side of the rock. So now I can go ahead and delete all of these. We are paused at the moment. All of these power lines. Of course we won't get any refunds on that, but that's okay. Just going to remove all of them because I think in this case it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's quite a bit of an eyesore there. So here we might have to use two of them. So let's just see if I can fit one in without deforming the terrain too much. That should work. And then maybe one more. No, two more. That's okay. And if I just take this away, that looks just fine. You know, along the side of the road you'll get these transformer boxes and things, so it's perfect, I think. So now we're going to need a few more of them. Just going back to the main part of the city. We might have a bit of a power line there, but not all of the way. So let's see, where can I place that? Just got to get the spacing more or less right. We don't want too many of these things. Only a few more. Let's say there. And of course these ones we can delete later as this part of town expands. I think we can still fit a few more buildings in here, but that just looks so much better, and of course it gives full service to the few buildings on this side of the rock. I still have to pick a name for this one, so let me actually go back to that original comment that I received with the suggestions and see if there isn't one that we can use here. Okay, I've gone and had a look, and I think this will be called Holden from now on. So this will basically just be applied to the commercial area here, but in reality we will use it to refer to this entire side of the rock. Holden, that's a car in Australia also, if I'm not mistaken. And somebody also made the comment of the cobblestone area to say its nickname should be the key to the sea, because this does look like a key, and I agree definitely. So something to keep in mind. So back to the mods. There's a few more. I'm really cautious with getting mods because you always have to be careful how they will interact with each other, but usually there's not a problem. But I just think we should introduce mods very slowly into the series because I'm not very comfortable with most of them. Actually never used most of them before, but one that I did download, unfortunately I don't think it's going to work for us here. If I just go to the police tab and the buildings, is this toll booth turnpike. It's actually a bit too big. I was just thinking something that would look like a border more or less to use here, but I think it will have to be something else. This is just simply too big and it will use too much of our land area. Oh well, not a problem. Then the other mod that I downloaded, it's actually a few mods in one. If you go to the police station now, we can change the vehicles there, and there's two British ones that I downloaded. The one is the Land Rover Defender and the other one is the Volvo S60. And for this station I'm using the Land Rover, which I actually like, but for the police station here in Cobblestone it's the Volvo. So that should add a bit of a British flavour, seeing that this is part of the British territory. And then related to that is another mod that changes the color of the emergency service lights from red to blue. So I still want to see it in action, but it should be very interesting. So let's just unpause and see what happens. I think that was the only mods I installed. No, there was another one. This prop and tree anarchy. I was thinking if we have any props, this might be useful. So for now it will just remain there in the off position basically. So let's see, what do we need to do in this part of town? There's still a lot of growth that we have a demand for, so I'm just going to zone. Is this now the low density? That's right. Let's keep the theme of this area. This is for the richer people who will have their sort of single family homes, and then I still have to pick a name for this as well. I think there was another one, Insbrook, I think, in the comments, so maybe we'll call this Insbrook. Is that in Austria, I think? Oh well, this will be here. That's a fitting name. So let me actually rename this. And the medium one is just fine. So that will be this whole sort of terraced area. There we go. So right now it's Mulberry Park, but that seems very generic. So Innsbruck, there we go. Already almost 600 people living there. Just have to make sure they have all the services, of course, and we will still run into trouble, I'm sure, with the garbage and sewage systems very soon. Let's actually have a look at that. No, it's more the water, but it's still okay, not a problem. Then what else is on the agenda for Gibraltar right now? Of course, this area has to remain empty for the future airport, and there I would like to use quite a few mods because the inbuilt airport is not really the best one. Then probably this part of town will have to be demolished as well, but that can't be avoided. We'll see. Let's just see, are the services giving enough coverage? Not really. Healthcare, we do need another one. There's nothing in Cobblestone here, so maybe another clinic here would actually be in order, or even a hospital at this stage. We're making quite a bit of money, but how much is this? 2,400 a week. I'm not sure. Let's stick with the clinics for now until we are certain that our budget can actually sustain the expense. So this will just go somewhere here. There we go. That makes a lot of people happy, and we should see some upgrades happening at some point. There is some noise pollution here, unfortunately. It can't really be avoided though. Let's see, the other things, the schools, we have to stay on top of that. So elementary education is already quite strained. So we have, of course, Dwayne Johnson there, another one, and there is one here in Cobblestone. But Innsbruck now also needs an elementary school. So can we fit one in? It's too late. They've already started building there. So we'll just have to put it right by this cross street. Again, a lot of happy faces. That's good. The capacity has also increased now quite a lot, so that's good for the future. Then the high school, we clearly don't have enough. We're gonna have to find another spot for a high school. I'm supposing Cobblestone will have to do. I don't think, on the other hand, could we squeeze one in here? Although that is very biased planning, because I'm thinking, the rich people want their own school, but the majority live down here, so they should have a school first. So let's put one here by the future ferry. Now, it must be placed by the roadside, so we're going to have a bit of a gap there. Oh well, as they say in London, mind the gap. Just put some trees there. Now, this one will be Cobblestone High School. Or actually, this one will be the Key to the Sea High School. There we go. I'm glad we can accommodate a longer name there. I have to press enter, of course. That should do. Then let's just have a look at the capacity again. That's now well over our current needs. So we just have to keep an eye on the budget, of course. What else? University we can't do yet, so that's fine. Let's just have a look at our fire services. That's not looking so healthy, especially here in Fathom Flats. And of course going down on the coast there. Maybe one somewhere here where it will be able to at least cover this part of town. Then in the future, as that area expands there, we can always fit one in. But I don't think that's been too much of a problem. I know they've complained, why isn't the government doing anything about the fires? But there haven't really been that many fires. That should do. It's right off the main avenue here. So again, a lot of happy people. So the next thing we need is more commercial. People want to go shopping. I see there's some abandoned buildings here. Now it's gone again. No, there it is again. So which one is it? That's very strange. None of them seem to be abandoned. Now it's gone again. So let's expand now, I think, along the coast here. The area directly next to the quay here, I want to leave empty for now, because we of course have to leave room for the port here. So let's see, how can I do this? The main highway is going to go down here. I can remove this dirt road now. That was just a guideline, which I didn't follow, by the way. Oh well. You know, development in any city is an organic process. You can't always plan for it. So now I definitely want the avenue with the monorail again. We aren't really going to use it right now, so should I do it though? I think we should actually, otherwise I'm going to have to rebuild it again. So let's just have a look. If we go straight, that's not really going to do. We will need a curve here, so let me just go back to the tools there. And then ultimately we want to go down here more or less by the middle, but at this point I think we want to have a bit of a further curve here, something like that, or a bit more of an abrupt curve. Let's do that. It's actually quite gentle, but at least it takes us closer to the quay there. So that leaves this almost like a triangle now, so I think we can develop this one next while the residential area can grow there. So as that actually stays in demand, I can just keep expanding this one. But the shops I definitely want down by the water. Let's just see here, gotta zone this whole area. Then the pipes. Luckily the winters here are not an issue, so we don't have to worry about providing heating and all of that. It does make the game a little bit easier. How's our power doing, by the way? Still okay, not an issue. There's that abandoned building again, but there is no abandoned building. It's a strange mystery there. Another thing maybe, let's just have a look at Cheshire. If I can just get the overlay here, so that does cover this area. I think I want to delete these power lines as well, and just see if we can't get a few more buildings in here. Since this is anyway related to commercial. Let them use that piece of land as well. Okay, now what next? I think we should have another road that follows the quay here, but this will probably just be a normal road. Or it can still be an avenue, I think. Maybe. But then we'll have to... Thinking now, that will be a nice thing if we can make an avenue through here that will also go down to the south, so that people don't just have the one connection there. But I think at this stage I won't demolish that buildings yet. We'll just build the new one. So let's go a bit further out, and then let me actually get to this point and make it parallel to the quay if I can. At least this end of it. Then it can continue and then join at quite a sharp angle, but that's okay. And we get the grand city at last. So the third loan is now available, and the solar power plant. So exactly as our needs dictate, we can now expand using green energy, which I also want Gibraltar to be able to do. We do have some more progress here on the unique buildings, but I don't really pay much attention to that at this point. What I really want is that last tile, which happens with the next milestone and the harbour as well. I think the airports come after that. No, the cargo hub and the nuclear power plant and then the airport. But I don't want Gibraltar to turn into a 3-mile island or a Fukushima, so let's avoid that. Don't think it can actually happen in this game, but still, we want to have clean energy. So now we can follow this as a guide. Let's just have a look. Since it's another curved road, I keep making things difficult for myself. Don't want to have too many gaps here. Maybe I shouldn't follow that guideline. Let's overlap. Better to overlap, I think, at this point, rather than to waste land space. I think I need to turn off that snapping. Is it the angle or the grid? It's the angle, okay. Just so that we can do a more of a gentle thing. Let's turn all of that stuff off. This again might have to redevelop in the future as the harbours get unlocked, but oh well. That'll do for now. Oh no, my neighbourhood now hosts a restaurant and a hotel, gone forever. Oh well, they're job creators, so I don't think it's too much of a problem. If it's an issue, they can always move to Insbrook, which is developing so rapidly we've run out of electricity. So let's see about this solar power plant. Upkeep, we can actually afford it, and then we can always shut down some of the other power sources there. But where would we build this? That's the thing. Obviously the rock is completely out of the question because of the elevation and the inclination and all of that. Somewhere here perhaps. Let's just have a look. Of course we need to place it by the roadside, but I just need to know more or less where. Yes, why not? Let's build it here right next to the border. Now of course it's difficult to judge this. Would like to put the road on the other side. It's probably not going to be a good thing. Let's just see how much space do we need. It can be a bit closer. Do get a refund for that. That should do. Don't need to worry too much. There we go, that does look very nice, and it shows the people on the other side of the border how things are done. Just have to connect this now. And unfortunately the traffic situation there has not improved. So I think whatever I place there in terms of checkpoints or toll booths or whatever the case might be, the main focus must be on making the traffic flow better. So if you have suggestions also for that, do leave a comment for me, because I think that can be helpful. The backup here is not too bad at the moment, but you can see now it's starting to slow down and the trucks have to wait a long time. Ideally, I think like to make either a tunnel or some kind of an overpass that can get the trucks to the industrial area as quickly as possible. There isn't much of a hold-up to get out of Gibraltar, which is fine. I don't think that side of the issue needs any work, really. It's the incoming traffic. Don't see any of the police yet. I'd like to see what those new police cars look like. Now let's just have a look. The power is connected. Of course, now we have a tremendous surplus, so I think for our budget's sake we need to shut down as many of the redundant power sources as possible. How will that do? There's a fire now, and it is exactly in the area that I was eventually going to build my new fire station. But now what is this here? a fire helicopter from the firehouse. That doesn't sound normal to me. I think it's because of this mod now. If you don't specify, it will basically use both. Oh dear. Oh well, that's a bit of a cheat then, but let's say they hired the helicopter just for the fire. In any case, let's just have a look at that. No, still way too much power. I think that one power station can now supply the entire territory here. What else do we have? Of course, the garbage burning site I'm going to leave because we need that. Is that it? That's all the power? Wow, okay, so we actually still have a tremendous surplus. Oh well, power is cheap now, so I'm sure people will be able to enjoy that. Now this hasn't worked out. I see we've got some abandoned buildings in Holden now. The seafood joint is shut down and there's a crime problem here. There we go, there's the new vehicles. There's the Volvo and there's the Range Rover with the blue lights. I like that, that's very nice. I think when the tunnel opens to Europa Point and we have some more development here, that will make this a more desirable area as well. Right now it's a bit too isolated. So let's see, what about this now? I still want that commercial. Oh well, demolish it. Sorry, it just has to be done. Then I think we'll just also continue the Cheshire zoning, or should we? Let's have a look. It depends though. I think just up to a straight line there. So let me actually just draw that. Just because the harbour area, I don't want that for tourists, and that will be this part down here. So this is still okay. So let's see, do we need another road to... Yes, we do, just to maximize it again. Probably another curved one, I think. Or maybe not. That will do. Let's just continue there, so at least we have the option to build there. And what about here? No, you see, again, not space that we want to waste, really. Now what's going to pain me is the fact that it doesn't follow the key. Or it does, but it's not at an angle that I like. Takes some work, some of these things. That'll do. Now we just need the various pipes and power lines and all of that. That should do. So, time to open the new shopping district here in Cheshire. So I'll just go through like that and zone this whole area right up to the water. And now that's another issue. Now they have only one tile to build there, but I think it will be okay. Let's just see what happens. This will still be all for tourists. That, yes, tourism specialization, but it should still fulfill the demand there. Then any other areas that we have some commercial will be more like shops and so on. Best nightclub was apparently not the best nightclub. It was shut down. Oh well. And this power line here, that can be removed. Don't need the redundant things like that. Let's put up some trees here by the school. Let's say oak. Oak trees. I always love oak trees. Just a few to make it look a little bit nicer. That'll do. And what's happening in the school? It's almost full again. Good grief, the city is growing rapidly. Well, that's a good thing. And what about the garbage facilities? incineration status is not nearly sufficient, so that means that it is piling up, but the overall landfill usage is only 65%, so I don't think it's a problem yet. Can close that. That looks like a nice hotel. I really do wait for the harbour facilities, because that will allow us to do much more planning there. So I think we need to build somewhere else for now. Still have some empty lots here. Sometimes as the buildings get built, it will change the zoning, but it doesn't happen too often. There's a crime problem. Let's build another police station here by the sewage outlets. Of course, this won't stay here long term. That will all be moved to Europa Point eventually. Just see, can we get a police station? And while we're at it, we might as well get another fire station. That should make a lot of people happy again. Now what? Let's have a look. What else can we do? Is there anything I can do about this so long? It's difficult because... Let's see. Let me pause this for a second. You know, I think what I'm going to do, even though I'm not sure it will work, because you can see already a lot of the incoming traffic consists of these trucks. But the thing is, if I now build a tunnel, which is what I want to do, that goes under the police station here and then somewhere emerges near the industrial zone, the problem there is still, this is such a short route that I'm not sure they'll take it. But on the other hand, they have to go around the roundabout here, so maybe it will work. But let's see. I just want to have a look at it. We can just make this one of those highway roads. Let's see this ramp, because it's obviously a one-way traffic flow. So I'm going to do this very quickly. It might take a bit of planning, so I just think it will be best if I just have a quick look before I continue the recording. Okay, well, I'll just continue here. I was just thinking now, how should I deviate there from the actual highway? I think it will just have to be a turn off like that. I couldn't make one that's more straight before deleting all of the existing infrastructure. So at this point, this is only a temporary measure to actually see what we can achieve. Then I just wanted to go quite I guess a sharp angle. It doesn't matter too much. Now, where will it emerge? Unfortunately, we'll need quite a bit of a clearing, so maybe here somewhere. Let's just go back up to the surface. Let's see. It won't be possible, I'm sure, to do that, no. And like that? No, not gonna work. And like this? Uh-oh. Google is telling me I must stop rambling, but I'm not ready to stop just yet. I just want to see if I can do something here, but I'll definitely welcome any feedback that you might have to help guide our development here. Just go back to the surface and then... No, this is very tricky. I'm sure I'm just making it more complicated than it needs to be. That's the problem. I can of course emerge the road somewhere here, but I'd like to keep the journey as short as possible. Just see, do I need these power lines? I still do, yes. Actually, I can just move them here somewhere. And delete these ones. So let me do this. Let's just put action to my words and just see what it turns out to be. Okay, that will do. Let's just see what happens. Is it at all a viable thing to deviate some of the traffic? Just if we can separate the normal you know, the commuter traffic from the industrial traffic, that will already make a difference. Is there a possibility maybe to change the rules of the road about who might travel down this road? I don't think I can banish trucks from this. I think I could do it through a zoning law, but I don't think I want to. I can only change the priority here, that's the thing. Now, well, it's not doing anything, so how do I get out of this view now? Close there. So that is the traffic rules actually. Just go back to this. Traffic routes, adjust, road selected, no, never mind all of this. Oh well, we'll continue in the next episode. It's slow progress, of course, but the idea is not to rush through this thing. I like to take my time and think about what I'm doing and just deliberate and really enjoy the experience. So, in any case, hope to see you next time. At least we have some more power now. And have a fantastic day.